If you break into our country, that's against the law.
I know, but how's that immoral?
You can't.
No, but my question is illegal. I don't.
It's immoral because you're breaking our law.
Okay, hold up. So
and you're also causing a strain on the taxpayer.
Okay, if we're talking about solving crime in the United States and deporting immigrants,
so I'll say this: legality and morality are not necessarily interchangeable and related.
Wrong?
Yes.
Yes. Can you agree that science is a valid tool and that we should value?
Say it again?
That science is a valuable tool and that we should value scientific results.
Yeah, we should.
Yeah.
With healthy skepticism.
Depends.
Right.
Okay, if the skepticism is like scientifically based, I fully agree.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. 100%. And can you agree that most Republican pundits, including Trump, allude to undocumented immigrants having higher rates of violent crime than the average American? Yes?
You should say it again?
Can you agree that most Republican politicians, including Trump, say that undocumented immigrants have higher crime rates?
I don't agree to that.
With Trump himself called undocumented immigrants rapists and murderers, yes?
Yeah, that's true.
No, okay, based on what? Because every single hold up. Every single major statistical analysis on this subject, you can Google this yourself, has found that undocumented immigrants have lower crime rates than white people. Yeah, of course.
And I don't care about anybody else. No, forget everybody else. Are illegal aliens raping and killing?
Yeah, but white people also are, and black people also are.
That's not the question. He was talking about illegal aliens.
Yeah, but
don't belong in this country. They're illegally here.
But he's using it to call for.
So if you guys don't already know what's going on, this is an alien or illegal alien debate or illegal immigrant debate is what I like to say. The student supports. I don't know what the student supports, but he's debating Officer Tatum on Trump's claims on illegal immigrants. I'm not gonna waste any more time. Let's hear both points of view. Get right into it.
Deportation. Is he calling for a deportation of black or white people?
What? He called for deportation of illegals.
Yeah, no, but specifically on the basis of crime, in that sense, right?
Illegal people.
Yeah, of course.
But all colors.
We're talking about crime. That's completely irrelevant.
They're committing crimes.
I know, that's completely irrelevant. A lower rate than white people.
14.
Wait, hold up.
Murderers. 14,000 murderers are running free in the United States of America.
And how much of them
it was like 17,000 of them are convicted rapists that are running free in America.
Okay.
Over 400,000 crimes committed by illegals that they know of.
But can you point
Is that a problem?
Yes, but can you? No, yeah, but also like rapes and murders with white people are also morally wrong, right? Or committed by black people?
Well, I would love to deport every rapist from America, but you can't get their citizens.
Of course.
But if you're illegally in this country,
can you allude to a specific statistical analysis which have found that Hispanic immigrants commit more crime per capita than white people or black people?
It's irrelevant.
It's completely irrelevant. If we're talking about their predisposition towards crime and taking them out of the country because of the fact that they commit crime, if they're more peaceful than white or black people.
The crime is illegal immigration. Is that a crime?
No, but we're not talking about immigration.
No, is illegal immigration a crime?
That's red herring. I was talking specifically about crime.
Red herring? What are you saying? These people committed a crime first. They're here illegally. That's a crime.
But Trump? Okay. But Trump,
and technically by law they should be deported, right? That's law.
Yeah.
Okay, then they commit a crime on top of that crime.
Yes,
and Trump is saying they should be deported. Do you disagree?
The what? On what specifically? The fact
a person is illegally in our country and they commit a crime, should they be deported?
If they commit a crime after illegally immigrating, yes.
Okay.
I believe that illegal immigration in and of itself is morally wrong.
What do you mean?
Do you equate legality with morality?
Look,
no, hold up. It's a yes or no question. Do you think that morality and legality are equal? If someone does something that's illegal,
I think that it's a balance between the two.
No, I agree. But I think that just because something
you don't kill them, you don't shoot them dead when they cross the fence, but you got to hold them accountable to immigration laws. So,
of course, but what I'm saying,
they're invading our country. Invading our country should be a use of deadly force, but we don't do that because that's not moral.
Hold on. But how is that immoral? How is coming into this country for the sake of working immoral?
Listen, hold on.
But how?
No. If you come through a port of entry.
Okay.
Or you immigrate like some of these other people probably have that are sitting here listening to me, that's totally fine.
Okay.
If you break into our country, that's against the law.
I know, but how's that immoral?
You can't.
No, but my question is illegal. I don't.
It's immoral because you're breaking our law.
Okay, hold up. So
and you're also causing a strain on the taxpayer.
Okay. If we're talking about solving crime in the United States and deporting immigrants,
so I'll say this: legality and morality are not necessarily interchangeable and related. However, when you're arguing on the basis of illegal immigration, it doesn't make sense to go after Trump specifically. And the reason I say that is because the entire concept of illegal immigration, the entire concept of laws and how the executive branch imposes laws actually relies on the legislative branch. Meaning, the reason why crossing the border without permission or paperwork is even illegal is because Congress said it was illegal. Congress voted on that. Congress made those rules. So actually, if we're being technical, it would be wrong if a president ignored what Congress said as what's illegal. When you look at Donald Trump is the commander-in-chief of the executive branch. The entire role of the executive branch is literally to enforce the law. So if you're looking at him and he doesn't enforce illegal immigration, that would be more against the Constitution than if he does enforce it. If you really have a problem with how he's reacting with illegal immigration, if you really believe that America is being too strict on illegal immigration, now I've said this time and time again, because it's going to be different presidents to president. There may be one president who's less strict about immigration, and there may be another president who's more strict. Nonetheless, if you're really serious about this, you need to be lobbying or going towards your representatives in the legislative branch because they make the rules. Biden was less strict with illegal immigration. As commander-in-chief, it's his job to enforce the law. If he doesn't want to enforce it strictly, there's nothing that you can really do. Donald Trump is more strict with illegal immigration, as he said he would be. So if you have a problem with that, there's nothing you can do. You need to be going to Congress and saying, can you make immigration better for people who really need help? If that's not what you're doing, then it's hard for me to really take your side serious with this debate. Also, I would also say laws are more moral today, and they progressively get more moral as we progress as a society. But laws obviously are not directly congruent with morality. Let's continue.
Way to get rid of that is not actually helping, because as I told you, and you haven't disputed, illegal immigrants don't actually commit crimes that are hate right.
Let's have a fruitful argument. Do you believe that illegal immigration is against our law?
Yes.
Should we do something about it?
Depends.
We should just let people in our country?
No, I believe that.
Do you know that we allow more legal immigrants than any other country in the world?
Cool.
1 million people a year we allow in this country legally.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hold up.
Do you agree that we can't just have people coming in our country whom we can't even identify?
I mean, to an extent, right?
Do you agree that there's other people who have nefarious means or nefarious motives that are coming into our country through the border illegally?
A statistical minority. Yes.
It doesn't matter. It's enough to kill people.
Lower than white people. So like, what's your point? If you're specifically talking about them as criminals, but they commit less crimes,
it doesn't matter because we're talking about illegals and legal citizens.
But
That's different. You cannot deport legal citizens.
I just got you to admit that legality doesn't equate with morality.
That's not true. There's a balance.
Where?
I said it's against the law. It's against the law for people to come into our country, right? It's against the law. Yeah. Deportation is the lawful remedy according to our Constitution and law. Okay? But we have exceptions because we let people come in here and seek asylum. So that's the morality legality argument. We don't kill them.
Wait, hold up.
At the border.
How does that make immigration in of itself immoral?
Illegal immigration, son.
Yeah, but
we're talking about legal and illegal.
When you say that, you're directly equating legality with morality. Explain. In this scenario, how is illegal immigration immoral? No, hold on.
Listen, we have a process. No, hold on. We have a process. If you want to come to the beautiful country of America, you can seek asylum in America.
Okay.
You can come through a port of entry. There's a legal system in place that will allow people to come to this country.
You're still not answering my question.
No, I'm answering. Okay. So when you decide, I'm not going to seek asylum, I'm not going to follow their laws, I'm not going to do any of that, I'm just going to sneak into their country. That is immoral and illegal.
Okay, but yeah.
But see, we don't kill them at the border. We don't starve these people. We allow them to have a safe place in America, which I think has become bastardized and problematic. But we don't hurt these people. We don't jail them immediately. We don't make them go back. We don't drown them in the river. We don't do any of those immoral things.
I mean, to be fair, the deportation centers are incredibly immoral.
It's not supposed to be there because you ain't supposed to come here illegally.
Of course, but you talked about the fact that we're treating them incorrectly in that sense. And I'm saying,
what you want to do? Stay in your house? How many live in your house with you? Your dorm?
I don't count.
Because you won't. Nobody will live in. You won't let them live in your dorm.
But you originally said that there's no scenarios in which we've treated them immorally. I simply said the deportation centers are immoral, and still
I disagree.
You haven't actually answered my question as to how them breaking
immoral would be to let them die in the desert. That'd be immoral.
I'll answer his question. My perspective on this is a little different from Officer Tatum's. My perspective is that it doesn't matter if it's moral or immoral. It doesn't matter because the law doesn't care if it's moral or immoral. An example of this is if someone breaks in your house in order to steal money or steal jewelry or steal items so that they can feed their kids. Is that moral? If their kids were starving and they broke in your house because if their kids don't eat right now and they need to take your stuff and sell it right now, and they feed their kids with the stuff they stole from you, is that moral? Possibly, but it doesn't matter. If you see someone breaking your house and you unload a clip in them, that's self-defense. You're defending your property. Doesn't matter if it's moral or immoral. And the law doesn't really always take into account if things are moral or immoral. This is not an ethics class. This is the United States law. This is the law of the land. Morality matters to an extent, but in reality, we have laws, and the laws are the laws. So the only point that I'm getting at is we need to be arguing the legality of what's happening. The legality of what's happening is that people are illegally crossing the border and they're being deported. That it's literally what happened. And during the last presidency, Joe Biden just wasn't as strict as Donald Trump was, being the commander-in-chief. But Donald Trump's role as the commander-in-chief is to literally enforce the law. So I'll say what I said earlier. If you have a problem with what he's doing regarding this specific issue, then you need to be lobbying Congress so that they can change the law. Because morality, it matters. It really does. But in this instance, having this debate on whether it's moral or immoral is not going to change anything, because what's going to happen? Trump is legally empowered to do this. The only way that what he's doing is legally wrong is if he just removes due process. Then that's a legal thing that we have written into laws. If he goes against the law, that's when we start talking. But legally, he's allowed to deport aliens. He's allowed to do that legally. He is. You have a problem with it, you just have to go to Congress. I'm just being 100% honest here.
Questions.
I don't know if you get anywhere. Is it illegal? Yes. Should we not let them come in our country illegally? Yes.
Yeah,
we shouldn't.
Okay, hold on. But
if they commit a crime and they're here illegally, should we deport them?
Do you think? Yes, of course.
What are we talking about?
And no, I'm saying specifically they commit a crime after they illegally come here, right? Which we can probably both agree that if an undocumented immigrant is here, they commit a crime, they should be deported. Yes?
Yeah.
100%. But what I'm saying is that the crime itself of illegal immigration is not immoral, and to me, in and of itself,
it's not immoral.
Yeah, of course not.
Are you saying a crime of coming here illegally?
Who are they causing harm?
The taxpayer.
No, they're not.
Billions of dollars that we are spending on illegal aliens is insane.
Shows the undocumented
billions of dollars are spent.
The single biggest industry in the United States, agriculture, wouldn't be a thing if it wasn't for undocumented
That's not true.
immigrants.
That's not true.
Show me a single analysis that shows that.
You show me an analysis that it would be anything different. Who was working before they got here? Who was working before they got here?
Poor white people? Wait, tell me.
Not just poor white people.
Minorities?
People who are citizens of this country.
When was the last time you heard a white, black, Asian, Native American person working in the fields?
What are you talking about, bro?
No, the agricultural industry.
Every person in agriculture is illegal?
Most of them, yes. Have you ever gone to Washington?
No.
And I'm saying a majority. I don't agree with that. The majority of them are undocumented.
A lot of people do come here, and You can't.
So if I was to be able to show you that the agricultural industry depends on undocumented labor, would you change your mind on that point?
No. We can have. The thing is that you can structure it. If we need more documented labor. If we need more labor. If we need
50% of agricultural laborers in the United States are undocumented.
Now this is AI generated, so it could be. But it's often
and they don't know that number. They don't know how many illegals are in our country.
I'm following the data that we.
They don't know the numbers. They don't know how many illegals are actually in our country.
Okay, hold on. But
you can't even work. You can't work in America.
I'm choosing to disagree with science.
Technically, you can't even work in America and be on a payroll.
So
if you're not a legal citizen or you have a work permit, you don't even know the numbers. You can't.
40 to 50%.
How true is that? How true is that?
You have no idea. Where's the statistics behind your argument?
Before illegal immigration.
What statistics are you using for your argument?
Here's the thing. If we need an influx and people helping us in agriculture, why can't we legally do it?
Because the federal immigration system is completely beyond.
Well, why don't we fix the immigration system?
I fully agree with that. Yeah.
All right, we're on the same page.
But in the meantime, do you think that Trump making false claims about undocumented crime and calling for mass deportation based on those claims is morally correct?
You might not. I didn't hear what
I'm really trying to have a fruitful argument with you.
No, you're ignoring my point.
Because it's a moot point.
No,
Donald Trump
specifically
is
called for mass
Donald
deportation of
Trump.
immigrants with one of
He
his main
said
points,
illegal
crime statistics.
immigrants who are committing crimes in this country.
No, he specifically called illegal immigrants rapists and murderers, which would imply
He said the ones who are raping and murdering people.
He didn't say that.
What?
He didn't say that.
He said every illegal is a rapist and a murderer.
No, but he said they are rapists and murderers.
So he's saying every one of them.
No, but he said they're
Well,
rapists
which
and murderers.
ones?
Okay, hold on.
The rapists and the murderers.
When he said they are rapists and murderers, which implies that they're more likely to be rapists or murderers.
You said what?
I said if somebody says, quote unquote, you're saying, oh, he didn't say all immigrants are rapists and murderers. But if you say, oh, black people are bad, that's still saying black people are bad.
Not only racist people who are ignorant think that.
So if someone was to
Only
say,
racist people who are ignorant think that. If
Trump-
somebody said
Trump-
black people are in downtown hurting people. People with common sense know it's not every black person. It's the ones who are hurting
That's
people.
the thing. So if Trump
Illegal immigrants.
If Trump
Come to the-
hold up. I'm good. I appreciate it, but
What are you
I'm
talking about?
I'm
Hold
just
up.
saying that's not true.
Come to the mic. Come to the mic.
Yeah, Mexico. Yeah, hold up. So if Trump was to say that black, hold up. So you as a black man.
What are we arguing, brother?
I'm arguing that Trump made false claims about
No, he
illegal immigration
didn't.
and crime. Yes, he did.
Okay, move
hold
on.
up. So if Trump was to call black people rapists and murderers, you agree that would be
No, I would think he was talking about the rapists and the murderers.
No.
I think he's talking about every black person.
Yeah.
You do?
No, I don't think he'd be saying it every single black person. But I think
I talked to a bunch of I talked to stupid. Just say if I talk to stupid college students at the University of Washington, does that mean every college student?
No, you
But
said
stupid is not a trait for an amount of people. If you said women or
If I say women are ignorant, am I saying every woman?
yes, people
Yes, but
assume
you're
saying
applying
that all
the women
women are
ratio to men,
ignorant.
yes.
That's what that sounds like.
Dude,
I think
that's
Only irrational people think that.
brother.
There's no absolutes in
I'm gonna
anything.
say you didn't acknowledge any of my
There's no-
points. I hope you understand that you're statistically wrong. Have a good day, though.
I'm next.
He's next. Hold on, let me finish. Let me state this real quick because it's just convoluted mess. I think everybody should be able to understand that, like, we have a law in this country. We have immigration laws. You have to abide by our laws, just like everybody here have to abide by laws domestically. You don't get to skip laws because you don't get to go rob somebody because you're hungry. That's not how that works. You don't get to rob somebody because you think you deserve to be in their house. You cannot do that. You can't just come in our country because you think you deserve to be here. We have immigration laws that we should follow. We can fix the system. Let's fix the system. We allow more immigration or more legal immigration than any country in the world. Over 1 million people come into this country legally every single year. We're the most generous country. We're the most graceful country. We can work on our immigration policies, but you can't just let people flood into the.
So I'll just say this because he's going to go on his rant. I think when we're talking about politics, we always equate our own personal morals into what we do. And some people believe that everything Donald Trump does are his personal morals, or everything that the Republican Party or even the Democratic Party does are their personal morals. For example, people believe that every single executive order that Trump has signed just now, or every single executive order that Biden signed when he was president, was his personal beliefs. When you go to work every day, is everything you do your personal beliefs? Probably not. It's even if you're a CEO, everything that you do as a CEO probably isn't exactly what you want to do. The only point that I'm getting at is rather than talking about our personal morals and our personal beliefs, let's talk about what the rules state. What are the laws? What does the law state about this? The law states that currently Donald Trump is exercising his right as a president to deport illegal immigrants. Whether or not he wants to, whether or not it's the moral thing to do, it's kind of a very mute point to make. Because if you go to court and you say, oh, I did this because it was morally right, you probably still want to go to jail if you committed a crime. So I'm just saying, like, what's the point of arguing this? It's not going to change anything is all I'm saying. It's not going to change anything. Welcome to the real world. We need to be talking about the laws behind it. Did Donald Trump break the law? Is he breaking the law right now? Is what he doing against the law? If it is, then we can have a conversation. But having your own personal morals and beliefs in it, like, it's a good debate. It's good. It's entertaining. But in reality, it's not going to change anything. And I'm not saying this because I'm trying to push aside over another. I'm saying this because it's real. It's real life. We all have things that we would have done differently for every president, for every job. There are things we would have done differently. But if they're in the rules, then it's the rules. It is what it is. Like, I'm just being 100% honest here. But nonetheless, let me know what you guys think about this video. It's Ilafar Jojo, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.